Kal Halal Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Rahawah Kakadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone for pushing 100% truth who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect that have been scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom. This is Matazah Lacham and Donald Trump, Agent Orange himself, Nero in the reincarnation, is basically trying to turn America into a pariah nation, much like Boo Boo Nothing Not a Jew is doing right now to the land of Israel. They've staged a coup in Iran. They've sent economic hitmen first, which didn't work. Now they've sent jackals, who are assassins and agent provocateurs by the George Soros Corporation. The Good Life, or the Good Hands Corporation by George Soros, in order to provoke the people in Iran, in order to get them to to get them to revolt against the government, which they've succeeded clearly. And last I heard, they have over 12,000 to 18,000, I think, bodies, people that have lost their lives in this public detestment of the Iranian regime, supposedly. The Iranian National Guard, Iranian Military Guard, or whatever the fuck they're called, are perching themselves on rooftops and just shooting people at random. The last that they heard was 2,500 people. Is bullshit. It's anywhere between 12,000, and it's growing every day, every hour of every day. Donald Trump's talking about that BB, or Boo Boo Nothing Not a Jew, or Boo Boo Murkowski, has decided to stop shooting these people's bullshit. It's all based on the Greater Israel program, to expand Israel to cover Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Saudi Arabia, Libya, all the way to the Nile River, which is in the center of Egypt. So they want half of Africa, the land of Canaan, the land of the Hamites, and all of the so-called Middle East, which is the global South. That's what the fuck they're after. That's Greater Israel. Okay? That's what they want. Okay? That's what these Edomite devils want. But first off, they have to implement martial law in the United States. Okay? Because Donald Trump wants to steal Greenland. Okay? And steal natural resources from people. Okay? Hold on.
Americans need to find ways to get out a louder message about this. I mean, what Trump is doing on a national scale, international scale, is he is making us a pariah nation. He's doing to us what Netanyahu is doing to Israel, and what is going on in several other countries around the world. We're attacking our enemy, our friends. We're making love to our enemies. We're talking about invading other countries, seizing their assets, stealing their oil, and the Republicans are just afraid to act. That's the most troubling thing. My track record so far on Donald is 1,000%. I'm batting perfectly. But
okay, from the looks of things, everybody's batting perfectly against this orange-colored bastard. Okay, this devil now wants to implement the Insurrection Act. Okay? Yeah, he wants to threaten the Insurrection Act now. Fuck it. Let me see. Where was we at? Insurrection. Okay, Insurrection Act. Okay. Let's see. Where did he say that? He said that. Okay. I think it's Yep, this is by design. Okay, hold on. Okay, yep, hold on. Let me see. I was watching it yesterday while I was at work, and I thought that I would make a video concerning it. Okay, militarized. Okay, let me see.
Act before, and it would allow him to quickly put it. We are now 291 days away from the midterms. Today, President Trump threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act and send active duty military troops into Minnesota in response to the ICE protests there. Trump wrote that many presidents have used the act before, and it would allow him to quickly put an end to the travesty that is taking place in that once great state. Trump is right.
Okay. Now, let me go over here and see if I can find some more information concerning Donald Trump's Insurrection Act. Okay? Because they've already tried this before, Donald Trump, right? He's already tried this shit before, right? Where it says here, he says, the Atlantic says, Donald Trump, he runs the country and the world. Donald Trump believes he's invincible, but the cracks are beginning to show. Definitely getting to show. But yeah, this is what this motherfucker's trying to do, man. How to survive hate in America. You can't. This is what he's trying to do, is get rid of this. The Constitution. Right? U.S. Constitution, Article 1, Section 9, the privilege of the writ of habeas corpus shall not be suspended unless when in cases of rebellion or invasion, the public safety may require it. Okay? Now, things that are going on in Minnesota are no different than the things that were going on over 6 months ago in California. Okay? 90 days ago, 120 days ago, 4 months ago in Chicago. Okay? If you look at the pattern, all they're doing is they're doing all these different things, going into these different states, red states, where they're democratically elected officials have to deal with Donald Trump's military Gestapo, right? Produce the body, okay? So this habeas corpus gives you the opportunity to go to court in front of a judge to be judged by a court of your peers, okay? But these devils, Esau, Edom, the white man, the devil the Bible speaks of, doesn't want that for you. Okay? They don't want you to do that. Yeah, get this. White House posts AI image of Trump as Pope. Okay? They want this homosexual weirdo, this fucking pedophile, convicted felon now, convicted felon and a serial rapist, he's goddamn serial, okay, to be the Pope of racial bigotry and racist ideology in America, okay, the king of the Ku Klux Klan, the Pope, right, of unrighteousness, okay, that's what these fuckers want, man. They ain't gonna stop till they get it, okay. This is what do you call? The Department of Homeland Security draft document, white supremacists are the greatest terror threat, right? And they're terrorizing your ass in ICE, right? They're terrorizing every fucking body. They don't care. Okay, well, let's see. I'm trying to, okay, yeah, that's more of that, the ish motherfuckers are in control of Hollywood. Okay, hold on, let me go back up here. I think Salakia, I'm gonna try to go over here to where I saw it earlier, a map of the FEMA camps that I had. Yeah, I had a map of FEMA camps. Let me definitely had a map of the FEMA camps. It's let me see. It's about 700 or 800 Uh-oh. Yeah, it's about 800 FEMA camps, Federal Emergency Management Agency camps all over the United States. Okay? They're ready to receive prisoners. Okay? This is what they want, man. They ain't going to stop till they get it. Okay? And Donald Trump is talking about pushing white supremacy and white privilege. Okay? Right? White people are Edom. Right? See? John 8:44, ye are of your father the devil, and the lusts of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. Donald Trump does not tell the truth. He will sit up and tell you a lie to your face with a smile. Didn't have a problem with it. Okay? When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. From the beginning, there is only one group of people that have been unaliving and taking what does not belong to them. That includes so-called black people. Okay? Real shit. I was shook, man. I found some information that I thought I had lost a long time ago concerning the Black's Law Dictionary. I sure did. But hell, I can't remember where it was. I mean, man, these goddamn people here, man. The Most High is just about had enough of these goddamn animals, you know. Alrighty. Edom figures prominently in the prophetic scriptures as the scene of great future judgments. See notably Isaiah 34 and 5 and 6 and Isaiah chapter 63 verse 1. She is the only neighbor of the Israelites, not Israeli, said Israelites, who is not given any promise of mercy from the Most High. And that's the reason why these devils are moving the way they're moving. Okay? They're just about done, man. The Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, is on his way to exterminate these animals from off the face of the earth, man. They know it. Okay? And the people they want to get off the face of the earth are us, the true biblical Hebrew Israelites. Right? And they give all the power to the Ish-Khazar converts. Right? The synagogue of Satan, right? Revelation 3 and 9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. See? So they're running out of time, man. And they're trying to do everything they can to try to push this New World Order bullshit. Okay? I'm just going off into my receipts, the proof that these devils are not God's chosen people. The war for Israel. When he was asked about peace in the Middle East, the late president of Egypt, Gamal Abdel Nasser, stated, the Jews will never be able to live here in peace because they left here black but came back white. Okay? I was going to put this as a sign out there on the street corner with me. So when people drive by, it's like, what the fuck? Time magazine. Right? Let's see. I got more. I got a lot of more. I got a lot of more. Okay? Right? The same government that invaded you, kidnapped you, raped you, tortured you, enslaved you, miseducated you, starved you, lynched you, infected you, Jim Crowed you, drafted you, redlined you, imprisoned you, cares about your health. Yeah, man, these motherfuckers don't care, man. ICE individuals, they'll tell you to your face, they don't care about you. Okay? Definition of color. Get that. Swarthy. Of a dark color, complexion, or cast. Of a skin color or complexion. Dark. Of a person or their skin. Dark. A swarthy face, complexion. Right? The hue of appearance of the skin is, and especially the face, a dark complexion. Okay? I'm still trying to find that Black's Law Dictionary thing. You know. Let's read this. The beginning of the end. Washington cannot broker peace negotiations on behalf of the Palestinian and Jerusalemite family with the 13th Ish tribe of European Ashkenazi Khazars, who, contrary to Nikki Haley's assertions at the United Nations today, do not carry any biological lineage to the original black, brown 12 tribes of Hebrew Israelites, nor can they trace any historical relation to Jerusalem, Palestine. Okay? So these people just went into that land like Donald Trump's trying to take Greenland. Fuck it. I'm just going to take it. Right? Benjamin H. Friedman claims that the word Jew was only introduced into the English language in the 18th century, and that Jesus referred to himself as a Judean and not as a Jew. Inscribed upon the cross when Yahushua was crucified were the Latin words Yahushua Nazareth Rex Judaeorum, which means Yahushua of Nazareth, ruler of the Judeans. He further writes, the form of religious worship known as Pharisaism in Judea in the time of Yahushua was a religious practice based exclusively upon the Talmud. The Talmud in the time of Yahushua was the Magna Charta, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights, all rolled into one of those who practiced Pharisaism. The Talmud today occupies the same relative position with respect to those who profess Judaism, right? So these Edomite devils, that's what they're doing. They're going off of the Babylonian Talmud. The Most High Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua don't deal with the Babylonian Talmud, okay? Right? War is never fought for freedom. It is always fought for the rich. In the World War I, a mere handful garnered the profits of the conflict. At least 21,000 new millionaires and billionaires were made in the United States during the World War. That many admitted their huge blood gains in their income tax returns. They omitted it. How many other war millionaires falsified their tax returns? No one knows. Right? Major General Smedley Butler. It is not a coincidence that the people responsible for taking America to war directly benefit financially. That's the reason why Donald Trump is trying to pay back the markers. And all of these nations are calling in their marker of all of the debt that they hold. Okay? It's supposed to be the debt, or the fiat currency is supposed to be held by the backing of the faith of the United States government. And the United States government is reneging on that agreement for these other nations to hold fiat currency. Okay? Now, they're either selling or dumping their fiat currency at U.S. petrodollars because nobody wants to deal with petrodollars any longer. Right? That's the reason why Donald Trump's going from country to country, stealing natural resources, trying to stop Xi Jinping, one of the largest maker of natural resources, and not maker of or user of natural resources, that he's doing business with Iran. Cut off Iran. He cut off Venezuela. So China's trying to do business with Canada, right? Okay, America's going to cut Canada off, okay, in order to deal with Greenland. Okay, cut Greenland off, okay? And it's all about, the Samson option. Doing exactly what Boo-Boo Netanyahu is telling them what to do. Right? Because remember, Donald Trump, okay, he converted to Judaism in 2017. So that this is a Jewish president. Okay? He's no longer a Christian. He doesn't deal with Christian nation. By the implementation of the Insurrection Act, he can implement the Noahide laws. Okay? Because these are the divided states of Israel. Okay? Politicians and their corporate sponsors have tricked ordinary Americans into thinking legitimate enemies exist and must be confronted. The truth is that there are no enemies, only business opportunities. Okay? This is what these devils do, man. Okay, remember? Okay? They did the same thing. Remember what was that? The 5 individuals that Donald Trump had advocated for their destruction because they was black. Okay, this is the same thing. 1959. 69 black boys were padlocked in their dormitory at school, and then it was set on fire. The year was 1959. The place was Wrightsville, Arkansas. Okay? This is bigotry and hatred, man, of these goddamn Edomite devils. I just open up all of these receipts I have against these devils. I found. Okay? Let's see. What's that disclaimer? What's that? No. Okay. Because I'll just keep going on through all of this shit, man. Okay? This is what they're in the process of doing. Operation Jade Helm, Realistic Military Training. Realistic Military Training, RMT, is training conducted outside of federally owned property. The RMT process is designed to ensure proper coordination between the Department of Defense representatives and local and regional authorities. Okay? I know it's kind of blurred out. This is an old picture that I got. Okay? But these are the areas that Jade Helm had taken place in 2015. Okay. The Joint Military and Insurgency is a challenging 8-week joint military and insurgency unconventional warfare exercise conducted throughout Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, California, Nevada, Utah, and Colorado. Okay. Now they've since moved it to different areas of the United States now. Okay. Right? Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Right? Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai Shilak Mahar Mashapat Al Kal Adawamyam Wa Azanaya Yaquab Tazar Babakusha Thawada Aman, which saying, send swift judgment on all Edomites, deliver us in Jacob's trouble. Okay? You might want to take a picture of that one. Right? Okay? You might want to do that, okay? Because Jacob's trouble, we're in the middle of it now. We're at the beginning of sorrows, people. Okay? Jacob, martial law, Jacob's trouble. If this monkey, okay, like it says in Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7, alas, for that day is great, so that there is none like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Okay? Okay. Jacob's trouble. 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 14. Okay, let me see if I can find that one for you right quick. Probably don't need to. But I mean, it's all about martial law with these animals now. Okay, hold on. I'm going to go get some more stuff. I'm going to just get 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 14 right quick. Oh, where was I at? Boom. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another with swords in their hands. Okay? This is what Donald Trump wants you to do, so he can invoke the Insurrection Act. Okay? For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Right? Martial law. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, their houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. The modern day sword is the gun, right? And spoil their goods. They're going to come to kick your door in to try to find something to eat when they shut the power off, running water off. Okay? And spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Okay? 2nd Ezra. Salakia. Let me see. Where is it at, man? Right? There it is. 17. 2nd Ezra 16. Verse 17. Woe is me. Woe is me. Who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings. The beginning of famine and great death. Because when they shut the power off, famine's going to come in because all the stores are shut off. They push martial law through the Insurrection Act, the Sedition Act of 1798. Okay, which is the Aliens Enemies Act. you're an enemy combatant of the United States government. Okay? Through martial law, they can, through sedition, through a summary execution, they can pop your goddamn dome on the spot. I'm telling you. Okay? Famine and great death. Right? Great death is coming. The beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, because they're already threatening to go door to door, knocking on people's door. You go to the door, they just come into your goddamn house, come over your threshold of your shit. Okay? They don't have any former military training. These are white supremacists that Donald Trump says that they are the fucking enemies of America. But the enemies of America have been hired by the United States goddamn government to come against Americans. With ICE. They've also added some of the, the Proud Boys, other white supremacist groups, neo-Nazis. Okay? That's the reason why they're just grabbing people at random indiscriminately. Men, women, children, old and young. They don't give a shit. Right? They'll come against you sparing none. Right? The beginning of wars and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation, anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. So the Most High is doing this and using this as a time to get his people to amend their ways, to turn back. That's the reason why the Most High has put the Spirit on the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and other righteous men underneath them, okay, to put out these video epistles every day, every hour of every day. Okay, something is going on every hour of every day around the world, and putting these video epistles and this information out there on the internet for you to find out, for you to be able to use the spirit of discernment to know that it's time to come the fuck out of the way of Babylon the Great. It's time to come out of the world and doing what you like to do, repent and be converted, right? These are the ways that the Most High has sent these scourges for amendment in order for you to do. But 2/3 of our people won't listen, right? But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor always be mindful of the scourges. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case, right? A lot of people think they're in good case, even though the prices are rising. Okay, they don't see what's going on and what's about to infringe on their right to exist as so-called free citizens of America. Okay? If Donald Trump, because he's already threatening it, to push the Insurrection Act, okay? Let me go get it. Let's push Insurrection Act. Insurrection definition. Insurrection, a violent uprising against an authority or government. What qualifies as an insurrection? An insurrection is an organized, often violent revolt or rebellion by a group against an established government or authority, with the aim to disrupt or overthrow it, differing from riots by its political intent and organization. In the U.S., it's a federal crime. 18 United States Code 2383, to incite, assist, or engage in insurrection against the government, punishable by fines up to 10 years in prison and disqualification from holding future office. Revolt against authority. It's a rising up against civil or political power. Organized effort. It involves a concerted, organized attempt, not just random rioting. Violent intent typically involves acts of violence to change the lawful governmental order or overthrow institutions. Okay? See? And it just goes down the list. The 14th Amendment disqualifies individuals who have engaged in insurrection from holding office after taking an oath to support the Constitution. Donald Trump took an oath to support the Constitution, and then whilst he was in office, right before the end of his his first presidential dictatorship, he invoked this insurrection on the capital city of Washington, D.C., January the 6th. Now he's pardoned everyone that was involved. Okay? And then these Edomite devils, in order to continue in their white privilege and white supremacist ideology, that they're on top, they're in control, they control the world. Remember the video I showed you, the picture where it says, I control the world and I control America. That's what Donald Trump said, right? Okay, because you saw the picture at the beginning of the video. Okay, all of these Edomites, all of these maggots, right? Now, I might as well call them maggots, MAGAites. They're maggots. Okay, they're parasites. They do the exact same goddamn thing, okay, to a body. They do the same thing to a continent. They steal natural resources, okay, and then they move on and they spread disease. And the disease is to steal, to unalive, and to destroy, like it says in John chapter 10, verse 10, right? See? So that's what these devils are up to, man. That's what they're doing. Okay? All right. Behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Right? For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down. See? There shall no man be left to till the earth and to sow it. Okay? On the so-called illegal immigrants that were kicked out of the country, there's nobody left to sow and to till the earth of these farmers, right? The trees shall give fruit, who shall gather them, right? The illegal immigrants that were gathering the fruit of the trees, okay, the trees and the fruit are falling on the ground. Verse 26, the grapes shall ripen, who shall tread them? The illegal immigrants are vacating the fucking premises. For all places shall be desolate of men. Right? So that one man shall desire to see another and to hear his voice. Right? On TikTok, not less than 5 months ago, farmers were bitching, whining, and complaining that they had no one to sow or to till their farms. They were hoping that the so-called Negroes were going to go back to being slaves in the field for $10.50 a fucking hour. Okay, that's what they believed. Through white privilege and white supremacy. So they're going to force the Latinos that they can put in these FEMA camps. The only way through freedom, okay, is to go through the B1 2B program. Okay, where the government, the United States government, sanctions food and lodging, because that's your payment. Same thing they did in the southern states that caused the Civil War. The slave owners provided food and lodging, and they had free slave labor. You have to work for a certain amount of time through this 2B, or whatever it's called, program that the United States fully advocates for, that Kristi Noem was talking about. Kick the illegal immigrants out. They could come back through that program where whatever income that they make will be immediately taxable. So they're paying their taxes right away. Government can take whatever amount of money in taxes from them out of their check, if they get a check, and then provides them room and board. Okay? This is what Esau Edom is planning, man. For the people in these FEMA camps. Under the insurrection, under martial law, through executive order, they could create work brigades through this program and get the prisoners that they have holding in these holding cells and holding facilities in FEMA camps across the United States and force your ass into forced labor. Okay? Right? 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 32, and the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel there through. Right? Now, during World War III, a ground war, civil war and civil unrest, right? The virgins shall mourn having no bridegrooms, and women shall mourn having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn having no helpers. That means that there is, under martial law, if he goes to war with these other countries, you're immediately drafted through selective service into the military. No husbands, no daughters, no helpers, no bridegrooms. They've all been drafted. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. See? All these things are coming. 2 Ezra 16, verse 38, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. And that's exactly what the fuck we see happening on the world news stage right now in front of the entire planet. Okay, all of these things are happening right in our face. Right? Jacob's trouble. Look at the picture in front of you, man. Mandatory jabs. Okay, FEMA camps. The place where they're going to put you, the 10th part of the city that's going to fall. Look at the size of these FEMA camps, man. They got tents. All this shit is all ready to go. They have no prisoners. Okay? RFID microchips for tracking and tracing. See that? FEMA Walmart, mandatory RFID implantation, subcutaneous implantation. Okay? War, civil unrest. You see? You see all of these things that you see on this picture are in the news right now, man. You have ICE agents, right? Don't these motherfuckers look just like ICE agents? Look, they even got ICE agents dressed in black, right? See? These are the bodies shall be cast out as dung and thrown into the streets. See? Where your bodies will be made as compost. See? Real shit. Sorry about it being such a graphic picture, but hey, man, this is the truth. This is what's going to happen. Okay? Civil unrest. Setting people on fire. Okay, you see that right now in Minnesota. Tear gas. This is what's going to happen next when they implement the Insurrection Act. See? Everything in that picture is happening right before your face, and you still won't repent. Dumbass. Okay? I'm trying to repent quick. Fuck it. Okay, that doesn't have anything. But yeah, man, these things are jumping off, man, whether you want them to jump off or not. Okay? Ain't nothing you can do about it. My job is to tell you, let you know what's going on. Okay? You can read this for yourself. Read it. This is what's in it. Jab. Right? Okay? Everything is in here. Everything in here is in the jab. Okay? It's all there, man. Why do you think people are being unalive to going to sleep? Okay? 30 years old, suddenly have a heart attack. 17 years old, suddenly have a heart attack. What the fuck? Come on now. You better wake up. Okay? What's that? Now, whatever. Let's see. What else? What's this? Boom, boom, boom. Right? Robin DiAngelo. Hold on, let's read a little bit about this. Kidnapping and 300 years of enslavement, torture, rape, and brutality. Medical experimentation. That's how the medical industry started. Black codes, sharecropping, bans on testifying against whites, mandatory segregation, bans on jury service and voting, lynchings and mob violence, imprisonment for unpaid work, bans on interracial marriage, redlining, forced sterilization, employment discrimination, educational discrimination, biased laws and policing, white flight, subprime mortgages, mass incarceration, school to prison pipeline, disproportionate special education referrals and punishments, testing, tracking, school funding, biased media, voter suppression, cultural mockery, historical omissions, unaddressed trauma, and 300+ years of enslavement and torture. Okay? This is what they've done for decades, man. Okay? Trying to see if I can find that Black's Law thing, but I may not be able to find it this time around. Okay. Nah, I didn't think so. Alright, well, that's fine. Okay, this is more proof that the children of Israel have been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Swarthy, dark complexion, black, dusky, tawny, right? See? And then you have swarthy people. The darker they get, the more swarthy they are. Brown and light brown, sanguine, ruddy, tawny, dark, sandy, fair, pale, fresh, okay? Albino, okay? See? Real shit, man. Okay, hold on. That's more on the letter J. Right? Salakia. I'm just going through my receipts, man. I ain't finna delete none of this stuff. These are gems. Okay, check this out. Right? Like it says in Psalms 55 and 20. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, yet war was in his heart. Right? That's crazy. Concluded during the early 100-year period from the Revolutionary War to the aftermath of the Civil War, some 368 treaties would define the relationship between the United States and the Native Americans for centuries to come. The treaties were based on the fundamental idea that each tribe was an independent nation with their own right to self-determination and self-rule, right? That's the reason why you have reservations, right? Which are prison camps, right? But as white settlers began moving onto Native American lands, this idea came into conflict with the relentless pace of westward expansion, right? Okay, manifest destiny, resulting in many broken promises on the part of the U.S. government. And the government is still breaking more promises. No problem. From 1778 to 1871, the United States signed some 368 treaties with various indigenous people across the Northern American continent. Okay? And they broke every last one. Every last promise, every last treaty, every last one. No particular reason, just I'm going to break it because I can. What are you going to do about it? Right? The first slave Bible was published in 1807, 3 years after the Haitian Revolution ended. That revolution was the only slave revolt in history in which enslaved people successfully drove out their European oppressors, formed a new nation, and it increased American and European paranoia that the people they oppressed would one day rise up against them. Okay? Straight up paranoid. Scared to fucking death. When slavery was legal, its proponents often justified it with the Bible, specifically a verse that tells servants to obey their masters. There were also a lot of verses that abolitionists could and did use to argue against slavery, but you wouldn't find those in the heavily redacted slave Bible. Most of the Old Testament is missing, and only about half of the New Testament remains. The reason? So that the enslaved Africans, aka the Israelites in the Caribbean islands of Jamaica, Barbados, and Antigua, couldn't read or be read anything that might incite them to rebel. The slave Bible was actually titled Parts of the Holy Bible, selected for the use of the Negro slaves in the British West India Islands. It's not clear who exactly directed these changes. British planters in the Caribbean had long been weary of missionaries and could have demanded that they only teach enslaved people certain parts of the Bible. But some missionaries may have also believed that it was only appropriate to teach enslaved people excerpts that reinforced their enslaved mental status. Okay? Real shit. Boom. Map of the books of the Bible. You might want to take a picture of that, some kind of screenshot, and zoom in later if you like. Alrighty. Right. Bullshit. It's a right-wing plot to cause a race war in America and blame it on the leftists. But I mean, there's still two wings of the same bird. It doesn't fucking matter at this point. Right? Does this sound like white people to you? The color white is color at its most complete and pure. The color of perfection. You know any perfect white people? No. The psychological meaning of white is purity, innocence, wholeness, and complexion. Right? Completion. Right? So if you ain't got the complexion for the protection, you're going to get the persecution. Okay? In color psychology, white is the color of new beginnings, or of wiping the slate clean, so to speak. It is the blank canvas waiting to be written upon. While white isn't stimulating to the senses, it opens the way for the creation of anything the mind can conceive. White contains an equal balance of all the colors of the spectrum, representing both the positive and negative aspects of all colors. Its basic feature is equality, implying fairness and impartiality, neutrality, and independence. It is interesting to note that babies come into the world with a perfect balance of white, ready to imprint their lives with all the colors of the spectrum, hopefully from all their life experiences. Does that sound like white people to you? No. They should be the ones called black. Agreed? Okay. Red, Edom means red. Esau means wasted away as he, Asashawa, right? Red can have negative psychological associations, including danger, anger, or aggression. Okay? These goddamn Edomite devils are all about aggression. All day long. Salakia. What is that? Problem, reaction, solution. The paradigm works. The mass media government creates and or presents a problem, attributing blame to others. The populace reacts by begging the government for help or protection against the alleged problem. In this case, the alleged problem is ICE. Right? They're begging the government, but the government endorses ICE. So there's no help or protection. And the populace reacts. Okay? The government presents a solution that was planned well before the alleged problem spawned. Result? Rights and liberties are exchanged for the illusion of protection and help. Problem, reaction, solution. Okay? That's the plan. Operation Lockstep from the Rockefeller Playbook. First phase. Common, cold, flu, mild symptoms at most, media endorsement of mass paranoia and fear. Okay, flawed testing system utilized which picks up any genetic material in the body and triggers a positive result. Inflation of COVID cases, COVID case numbers through changing of death certificates, double counting and classifying all unalivings, including other diseases and natural causes as you read it, Salakia. Lockdown will condition us to life under draconian laws, prevent protests, and identify public resistance. That's what they're doing. They're identifying public resistance through Project Progo, okay, through Palantir, through NVIDIA, through OpenAI, okay. These are being used as weapons that the Israeli Defense Force, the Israeli Mossad, ISIS, aka the Israeli Secret Intelligence Service, can use against the American people, and make a list, a red list, blue list, and green list, and yellow list to prevent protests and be able to implement draconian law and identify public resistors. Okay? Second phase. The first phase will lead to compromised and frail immune systems through lack of food, social distancing, wearing of masks, and lack of contact with sunlight and healthy bacteria. Exposure to 5G radiation will further attack the immune system. Thus, when the people reemerge into society, more people will fall ill. This will be blamed on this new bird flu punk shit that they got out. This will all occur before the juice is ready to justify it. A longer and more potent lockdown will follow until everyone takes the juice. Third phase. If majority of people resist the juice, a weaponized SARS, HIV-MERS virus will be released. A lot of people will be unalived from this. It will be survival of the fittest. It will also be the ultimate push for everyone to be jabbed up in order to return to normality. Those who have taken the juice will be at war with those who have not. It will be anarchy from all sides, right? And they already did that in 2020. Right? See? This is Operation Lockstep. We are on the verge of a global transformation. All we need is the right major crisis, and the nations will accept the new world order. And that's exactly what's going on right now, right in front of us. Okay? These are all of the individuals of the United States government that work for the mainstream media. Okay? Washington Post, Huffington Post, The Guardian, CNN, NBC, ABC, CBS, The New York Times, okay, The Economist, BBC, Vox, BuzzFeed, okay, see, individuals on the United States Supreme Court, okay, who's that, Janet Yellen, she's an ish, Merrick Garland, an ish, Alejandro Mayorkas, ish. Avril Haines, ish. Ron Klain, ish. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, ish. Deputy Secretary of State Wendy Sheehan, ish. Victoria Newman, ish. See? All these motherfuckers, man. And these, I'm sure if you recognize some of the people in these pictures, these are all members of the Black Boule, Freemasons. Okay? It's crazy. It's real. These motherfuckers don't care about you. See if I can find some more receipts here. What is the definition of a channel? A channel is a passageway, a means of access for a thing, a communication, or an idea. Think of a channel as sort of a tunnel or a funnel that moves something directly through. The noun channel can be used for many such avenues. Right? Okay, hold on. Let's see. What's that? Stigma. Okay. Boom. What's that? Okay. Trying to get that one, but okay. The plan to silence dissent. Okay. Boom. Rex 84. Rex 84. Rex 84 is short for the Readiness Exercise 1984, a classified scenario and drill developed by the United States federal government to suspend the United States Constitution, declare martial law, place military commanders in charge of state and local governments, and detain large numbers of American citizens who are deemed to be national security threats in the event that the president declares a state of national emergency. Is he not threatening the Insurrection Act? Right? Which plans martial law. The plan states and allows the military to direct ordered movements of civilian populations at state and regional levels to any place they need to be placed. Okay? That's the plan. Okay? To get your ass out there in them fields, picking that cotton. Okay? This is a map of FEMA where they're going to put you all over the goddamn United States. They're going to start shipping your ass out. What they call black sites. Okay? It's all about the King Rex 84 called the King Alfred Plan. The extermination of blacks in America. There are over 800 prison camps in the United States. all fully operational and ready to receive prisoners, but they are all staffed and even surrounded by full-time guards, but they are all empty. These camps are to be operated by FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, should martial law need to be implemented in the United States. The current foreseeable event which will see the implementation of the use of these camps is the coming of the New World Order led by the shadow government, the Israeli lobbyists, right? America, right? The divided states of Israel. Make sense? Okay? This is the plan, man. Right? This is the 10th part of the city that will fall. The city is Babylon the Great, America. The 10th part, it gives you all the parts right here on this map. Every dot that you see on the screen in front of you is a major FEMA camp. Okay? Okay, a military base where you will be unalived deliberately and on purpose. They ain't never going to tell you the truth. They don't want you to know the truth, because if you knew the truth, you would rebel right away. And they don't want you to know that. Okay, Salakia. I'm trying to find... Okay, humanism, right. Hold on, let me see, what's that? Okay, weather modification. Breaks that down. Okay, damn, I'm trying to find it. I don't think I can find it, though. It's in here, though. Oh, definitely. Okay, oh, it's definitely in here. Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. What's that? Okay, Greater Israel in the end of days. Okay. Since most Christians and religious JEWs alike seem to recognize that we are now in the last generation, also known as the end times, talk about Greater Israel is appearing more and more in the media. The now deleted Post article is no exception, describing the term in the following way. Greater Israel is sometimes used in political or religious discussions about the ideal or future borders of Israel, often in the context of Messianic or Zionist aspirations. Some interpret it as a call for the reestablishment of Israel's biblical borders. However, the concept varies in meaning, ranging from symbolic or spiritual interpretations to literal geographical claims. In short, Greater Israel refers to the biblical boundaries of the land of Israel as was promised to the Ish people in various parts of the Torah. It stretches from the river of Egypt, which some interpret as the Nile or a smaller river in Sinai, all through modern-day Israel, the West Bank, Gaza, Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, and Iraq. Okay, all of that is Greater Israel. On that day, Hashem, right, which means the name, that's all it means, made a covenant with Avram, a.k.a. Abraham, saying, to your descendants, I have given this land from the river of Egypt to the great river Euphrates. Reads a portion of the Torah about the boundaries of Israel. There's debate about whether or not the mandate is still biblical, since the JOOs were driven out of the land by the Most High way back when. In this last generation, many JEWs have returned to modern-day Israel, which under Netanyahu's leadership seems to be forging on towards achieving Greater Israel. Bullshit. Okay? Alrighty. Hold on. So, that's all about the Greater Israel plan, huh? Goodbye, dollar. These bills will be rejected in stores across the United States starting in October. Okay? Is that October this year? Okay? Well, look at here. Elon Musk gets to perform on kids. World Economic Forum must have micro C-hips installed in their brains to help pre-bunk conspiracy theories. The World Economic Forum has announced plans to install micro C-hips in children's brains in order to protect them from misinformation and disinformation. The fuck? Really? Wow. Okay. This is what they want, man. This is their New World Order bullshit. Under what conditions can the president invoke the Alien Enemies Act? The president may invoke the Alien Enemies Act in times of declared war or when a foreign government threatens or undertakes an invasion or predatory incursion against U.S. territory. The Constitution gives Congress, not the president, the power to declare war. So the president must wait for democratic debate and a congressional vote to invoke the Alien Enemies Act based on a declared war. But the president need not wait for Congress to invoke the law based on threatened or ongoing invasion or predatory incursion. The president has inherent authority to repel these kinds of sudden attacks, an authority that necessarily implies the discretion to decide when an invasion or predatory incursion is underway. Okay, so through the Insurrection Act, which is the Alien Enemies Act, okay, he says American citizens are the enemy now. Okay, right? Okay, and they got the perfect place to put your ass. Look at that. Okay, now remember that the picture of all the different places. Okay. Okay, let's go back over here to where is that at, man? Was it all of the different places where they can put you? Okay. Okay, check this out. They're going to put you in court. They're going to send you to the guillotine. Okay. The Sedition Act of 1798. Okay. This is limiting free speech. Remember, Slow-Mo Kramer, some tech billionaire that crawled out from under a fucking rock last week, was talking about doing away with the First Amendment, which is do away with the right to free speech. Right? This is what Donald Trump is flipping people off about. You call Donald Trump a convicted felon and a serial rapist. This is what he's going to do for you. This is what ICE is doing to you. Okay? All day long. Okay? Try to tell you the truth, but you won't get it. The Posse Comitatus Act is a United States federal law signed on June 18, 1878 by President Rutherford B. Hayes that limits the powers of the federal government and the use of federal military personnel to enforce domestic policies within the United States. So by the implementation of the Insurrection Act, okay, oh my goodness, come on, man. Okay, that gives them an opportunity to do whatever the fuck they want to do to you. Okay? Okay? Where was we at? Deep state, right? Okay, government purposes, the use of guillotines. Okay. Yeah, man. Let me go back. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Because I've been taking a lot of screenshots on these devils and their bullshit they've been trying to hide what they're doing, how they're doing it. What's that? Oh, more proof on the jab, the juice, and all of that. Let's see. Nope. Let's see. Nope. 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 Alrighty. Hold on. Let me see. Alright. Yep. Hold on. I'm trying to... Right? Blacks are not considered citizens. They are still considered slaves by the government. Dred Scott case. The case in which the United States Supreme Court held that the descendants of Africans who were imported into this country and sold as slaves were not included nor intended to be included under the word citizens in the Constitution, whether emancipated or not, and remained without rights or privileges except those such as those which the government might grant them. Okay? So, under Black's Law Dictionary, it's a misnomer calling an individual a Black American. Okay? It's a misnomer calling us African Americans, probably, more than likely. I'm trying to find that in Black's Law Dictionary. I know I got it in here. I saved a screenshot of it in disbelief. I sure did. Blew my hair back. I'm like, what the actual fuck? So they're saying that we're not even citizens. We're not even people. We're just here taking up space. Right? It's a map I wanted to put out there with the people, okay, concerning the land of Khazaria. Alrighty, let me see. Black's Law Dictionary. I can't find it, guys. Hold on, let me come all the way back down here. Let's go into more of the Donald Trump's Insurrection Act. Wow, look at that. I ran across all kinds of stuff. Look, the guillotine. Donald Trump is talking shit about. He wants to invoke, you know, the rule of capital punishment in America. Okay, so you got this or this. That's exactly what they want. They ain't gonna stop till they get it accomplished, people. You know, it's crazy, man, but that's what these motherfuckers want, man. These people are insane. I don't give a shit about you. So this is what you need to do. Repent. Be grieved over one's past and seek forgiveness. Feel such regret for sins, crimes, or omissions as produces amendment of life. Right? Scourges for amendment. Famine, plague, anguish, great tribulation. They're sent as scourges for amendment. Okay? By the Most High. Okay? Atlantic slave trade. Look, see? I got all kind of receipts against these sons of bitches. All kinds, man. Goes on for hours. Okay, trust me. Okay. It just goes on and on and on and on, man. Okay? Because I take screenshots of this stuff, man, if I can't write it down fast enough. Because I know they're going to take this information off the internet, so I wanted to freeze it for all time. You know what I mean? Made sense to me at the time. Okay? Many tickle pears. The simple definition of the words are aminya at half a shekel, tekel equals shekel, and half a minya. The twice used term minye informed the king that the Most High had numbered his kingdom. The Most High seemed to be saying to Belshazzar, time's up. Tickle meant the king had been weighed on the scales of divine justice and found deficient. The king had given the Most High short measure. Peres, the word means to divide into pieces or to dissolve the kingdom. Right? In the aftermath of World War II, this report details Prince Bernhard, a financed and private investigative force of over 200 former British and German intelligence operatives, to scour Germany for all documents and scientific literature related to the Hindenburg cyclotron, and upon the completion of this task or mission in 1954. He founded the Bilderberger Group on May 29th, 1954, and those Western elite attendees, 7 months later, on December the 9th, 1954, agreed to form and finance the European Organization for Nuclear Research, CERN, right, and adopt its logo, the 666 brand known as the number of the beast. Okay? According to this report, the Bilderberger Group has hosted these meetings for around 130 of the most powerful elites in the Western world for 63 years, was founded in 1954 by Prince Bernhard of Lippe-Biesterfeld, who prior to World War II was a member of the Nazi Party of Germany, Reiter SS officer, whose main central duty was securing Western nation funding for Waffenmont, German Army Weapons Agency, scientific projects, most particularly the Heidelberg cyclotron. Okay, now the cyclotron is the CERN gate that they've redone it. They just renamed it the CERN gate, but it's still the Heidelberg cyclotron, where they take atoms and they crush them against each other to open portals to the left-hand side of where the Father sits, directly into darkness. Right? Upon the outbreak of World War II, the Nazi German invasion of his home nation, Netherlands, this report continues, Prince Bernhard fled to Britain, where he eventually secured a position in British intelligence due to the influence of his cousin, King George VI, who overruled both Prime Minister Winston Churchill and Allied War Commander General Dwight D. Eisenhower both of whom gravely mistrusted Prince Bernhard due to his Nazi past. Right? Message from the Most High. Warning throws Western elites into absolute terror. A paradigm-shifting report presented today to the Security Council by the Federal Medical Biological Agency states that a message from God was recently relayed to the most powerful group of Western elites ever assembled, termed the Bilderberger meetings, the importance of which was so terrifying to those who heard it. They instantly pledged their nation's total resources in order to stop what they know will be the end of their rule over the earth. Okay? Right? The logo 666 brand as the number of the beast. Okay? So these bastards know that their time is up, man. Since 2017. They've been working in lockstep with all the nations on the earth are trying to get us out of power. But the Most High says that the next people, see, this is proof that Donald Trump converted to Judaism right there. See? Back in 2017. Okay. Oh, shit. Go back. Sorry. Okay. These are just my receipts, man. Okay. Okay. Donald Trump and his bullshit Gaza, Trump Gaza. He got a 60-foot solid gold statue of himself. Sounds like a fucking, what do you call him? King of Babylon, doesn't it? Okay. Let's see. Now, what was I trying to get? Oh, that's right. The red list, blue list, and yellow list. Where is that? List. Is that it? No. Red list, blue list, and yellow list. No. Oh, shit. No, I just had it. There it is. Boom. All righty. Now, remember I was telling you earlier under Project Pogo and the 2 videos that I just uploaded on my channel, okay, concerning Project Pogo, where they put together a list of individuals whom they perceive national security threats, right? Okay. These lists are likely categories used within to classify individuals or groups based on their perceived level of risk or loyalty. The red list may represent individuals or groups seen as posing the highest threat or actively opposing the government. Yellow list could indicate those who are potentially disloyal or pose a moderate risk. Blue list might consider those reliable or loyal to the government. Green list could signify individuals whose groups are viewed as safe or neutral. Under martial law, which involves the temporary substitution of military authority for civilian rule, typically invoked during emergencies like war, rebellion, or natural disasters. Okay? Now, let me see if I can pull up something on ChatGPT. I don't think I'll be able to, but because I think they're going to... okay. Red list. Blue list, yellow list, and green list. These are under Project Pogo. Okay. Which allows Palantir, NVIDIA, Open AI to amalgamate a amalgamate certain individuals, okay, who stand against martial law. Let me see, I'm trying to think of something to type in this Google search engine so it'll flip the fuck out like it always does. You know? And deny it. Okay. 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 Okay, once martial law is enforced, I don't think it's going to tell me anything. Salaki. What time is it, man? God damn, man. Swear, man. It is a U.S. nonprofit watchdog group. Okay, so Project Pogo is real. What it actually is, Pogo is a real organization, but it is not what you're describing. Bullshit. Project on Government Oversight. It is a U.S. nonprofit watchdog group. Its mission is to expose government corruption, advocate for it doesn't advocate for whistleblowers. It puts them on a list for extermination. Increase transparency and accountability. There is no verified government or corporate program called Project Pogo that maintains red, blue, yellow, green lists of citizens. Bullshit. See? What is real? Governments and corporations do not risk categorization of systems, but they are narrowly scoped, legally constrained, not universal citizen ranking systems. Okay, so ChatGPT clearly is corrupted, and they're never going to tell you the truth now. Okay, what's his name? Peter Thiel had something to do with that. What is that name? Adam Schiff or whatever his goddamn name is. Okay, see, it says Palantir, NVIDIA, OpenAI, what they actually do. Data integration and analytics programs used by governments and private companies helps analyze existing data, does not create laws or lists. Heavily scrutinized and legally constrained in the United States. Hardware company, AI chips, GPUs, does not run surveillance programs, supplies compute not policy or targeting. OpenAI develops all general-purpose AI models, does not run intelligence databases, track individuals, participate in law enforcement targeting. Okay, martial law. Okay, hold on. Now, let me type in something else. Okay, Project Prometheus. AI super cluster in Ohio. I wasn't trying to put promethazine in there, asshole. Okay. Right, see, look, see. You know, Stargate AI supercluster rumors. You may also be encountering online speculation about large GPU clusters, defense contracts, and civilizational AI infrastructure. What is real? Governments fund compute infrastructure. Companies build large GPU clusters. Some are used for defense simulations. Okay. What is not verified? A single AI system ranking citizens, color-coded lists, domestic enforcement tied to dissent. Right? See? Yeah, see? That's all good. Anyway, I just wanted to, let you know what I had in my receipts, what they plan to do, how they plan to do it. They want to suspend habeas corpus, okay? And then you have sellouts like these individuals here. IUIC denying the names of Yahweh Yahweh Shai. ISUPK denying the servant who baptized Yahweh Shai. Sakari denying the word of Yahweh Yahweh Shai. One Body in Yahweh Shai denying the works of Yahweh Shai. And GOCC denying the will of Yahweh Yahweh Shai. And that's happening right there in our fucking face. And the apostles and elders of Great Millstone are pointing these things out. Okay? And these are the groups. Stay away from. Stay away from these motherfuckers, man. IUIC, ISUPK, Sakari, One Body in Yahweh Shai, and GOCC. Stay away from them. They ain't never going to tell you the truth. They don't give a shit. It's all about the money. They took the bag. Just like Judas Iscariot did when he betrayed the Son of God. Don't forget that. So you have our people that do the exact same thing. I can go to 1 Maccabees and prove it. 1 Maccabees chapter 1, verse 11. Okay. In those days there went out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us, for since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward therein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. Okay. Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen, and made themselves uncircumcised, and forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen. Okay? Right? But anyway, that's it. I mean, I'm going to just get off the video. I've been on it too long. Yeah, an hour and 20 minutes. Fuck. I was just going through all of the stuff I found out, man. I'm just going through it, man. Wow, stuff that pictures I done took. Check this out. Right? We're the only people in this entire planet who have been taught to sing and praise our demeanment. I'm a bitch, I'm a hoe, I'm a gangster, I'm a thug, I'm a dog. If you can train a people to demean and degrade themselves, you can oppress them forever. You can even program them to unalive themselves, and they won't even understand what happened. Right? And these bastards have been going into cognitive dissonance and denial about what they've been doing to us, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, for years. Mechanisms of control. The next steps in hacking human beings will involve attempted rollouts, which we should vigorously resist of digital IDs tied to fingerprints and other biometric data like iris scans or face IDs, demographic information, medical records, data on education, travel, financial transactions, and bank accounts. These will be combined with central bank digital currencies, giving government surveillance power and control over every one of your financial transactions, with the ability to lock you out of the market if you do not comply with government directives. Using biometrics for everyday transactions routinizes these technologies. We are conditioning children to accept biometric verification as a matter of course. For example, Face IDs are now used in multiple school districts to expedite the movement of students through school lunch lines. Until recently, biometrics such as fingerprints were used only for high security purposes when charging someone with a crime, for example, or when notarizing an important document. Today, routine biometric verification for repetitive activities from mobile phones to lunch lines gets young people used to the idea that their bodies are tools used in transactions. We are instrumentalizing the body in unconscious and subtle but nonetheless powerful ways. Okay? Mechanism of control. Okay? Right? So, This is the plan, people. Donald Trump, U.S. President, October 2024. On day one, I will launch the largest deportation program in American history to get the criminals out. Okay, so the criminals in this context look like this. They're saying that the Son of the Most High God and His people are criminals. They want you out. And you heard at the beginning. Well, you probably didn't hear that, but they want to, kick out our people. They want us out of Dodge, right? They don't want us here anymore. That's what they want. So anyway, all praises to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Hamashiach, Shalom. I was, like I said before, I was just going through some of these pictures that I got. Okay, this is what they want. Okay, hold on. 40.5% predicted that a world war involving major nations like the United States, China, or Russia will break out. The majority of those who believe World War III is coming said it would likely involve nuclear weapons and battles in outer space. The most notable example pushing respondents to predict would likely be President Donald Trump establishing the U.S. Space Force in 2019. Okay? Battles in outer space, right? What the hell? Alrighty, hold on. Yeah. Alrighty. Revelation chapter 12, verse 7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon, Babylon the Great, America, white privilege, white supremacy, was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. Yep, got those Israeli Amalekite Khazars, the least of the flock, deceived the entire world and telling the entire world that they were God's chosen people. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Right? See? So, yep. Yeah, let me go ahead and get off this video. It's been on too long. All praises to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rahabakah Kadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone for pushing 100% truth who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. You reading that? Esau Edom is modern Jewry. That's where you can go find it. Prove it to yourself. All righty. Try to tell you, man. It's all kind of true. I got so many receipts in here, dude. I could go on for hours, man. No bullshit. I could just keep on going on and on and on and on and on, man. All right. The end is near. Shalom.